The rich man died before the fire reached the curtains. Not by the cult's hands, not by mine. His heart simply gave up. Feared as that, the paramedics called it cardiac arrest. I call it irony. He spent his life harvesting fear. That night, fear harvested him, but that's not the real story. The real story is this: they weren't strangers. And I wasn't random. Years ago, before the penthouses and polished heels, I loved a boy. He was soft-spoken, intense, obsessed with legacy. His father led something he called a spiritual investment circle. That's what they tell outsiders. They don't call it a cult. They call it alignment. They don't call it sacrifice. They call it offering. By the time I understood what they really were, I was already pregnant. And when I tried to leave, they smiled. Because leaving was never part of the design. My child was born on a night filled with chanting. Candles, red thread. The same carved wood I saw again in that house. I remember screaming. I remember begging. I remember my boyfriend, the leader's son, not looking at me. And I remember the silence when my baby stopped crying. That was the night I was supposed to die too. But fire is unpredictable. And so am I. I ran. New city. New name. New life. Or so I thought. The night at the estate, when the ritual began again, I felt it. Before the lights went out. Before the door opened, something shifted in the air. When the cult members started chanting upstairs, it wasn't power they were summoning. It was acknowledgement. Because something had already attached itself to me years ago. The night my child was taken. Grief doesn't disappear. It transforms. And sometimes, it grows teeth. When the flames spread across that symbol on the floor, the chanting went wrong. One of them started screaming not in pain, but in terror. Because something was standing behind me. I didn't see it. I felt it. Warm. Protective. Furious. The masked leader stared past my shoulder and whispered one word. Impossible. I chose my profession carefully. Rich men talk. Powerful women confess. Secrets flow when people think you're temporary. For 3 years, I've been collecting names. Donations, shell companies, private airstrips. I didn't become expensive for luxury. I became expensive for access. That rich man who died, he funded them. Didn't know what the money was for, but his accounts were connected. And now he's dead. And the paper trail leads exactly where I need it to. They wanted a sacrifice. They created a witness. Since that night, mirrors don't behave normally around me. Candles flicker inward. Dogs stare at empty corners and whimper. And sometimes, when I close my eyes, I hear a child laughing, not in pain. Not afraid, happy, like it's no longer trapped, like it's no longer theirs. You see, they believed sacrifice transfers power to the living. They never considered it might transfer to the bloodline instead. Yesterday, I sent an email, not to a client, to the cult leader, my ex's father. Subject line, investment opportunity. Inside was a photo, the estate burning. His son's masked followers exposed. And a bank log proving I now control one of their offshore accounts. Let's just say the dead rich man had excellent passwords. I ended the email with one sentence. You took my child. Now I'm taking everything. Tonight, I have another booking. Different city. Different billionaire. Same symbol on his wrist. They're everywhere. But so am I, and this time, I'm not the offering. I'm the reckoning. If they want ritual, I'll give them ritual. But it will be on my terms.